Hello everyone, my name is Sachin. Welcome to my SAP channel, SAP Artist. Please do like and subscribe the channel for more SAP videos. So today, topic is SAP host-to-host payment file transfer to bank portal. I have chosen this topic because nowadays in real-time environment, almost every company is using this process for payment purpose. This topic is something which we do not learn in our SAP course. And when we work in real-time environment, we end up in a scenario where we need to develop and execute the entire process or solve an issue regarding to it. And nowadays, if you go to any course, they will not teach you all this integration host-to-host parts. It is like a two thing, SAP and integrate with other software. They mostly teach SAP. And when we go into the real-time world, so if you have worked already somewhere, then you'll understand this process. Otherwise, it's very new and it becomes little difficult for us to understand. But what I think is when we can develop or solve the issue at the earliest if we have an idea about the process or how it runs. In real time, the client wants everything very quickly. So to solve this host-to-host process issue, I'll be explaining the topic as much as I can so that any SAP consultant or any person who is going to be or already a part of this integration process will find it easier to understand and solve it. I'll be explaining the process in PowerPoint because to show this process, real-time bank integration is required, which is not possible for demo purpose. So let's start. So when we decide that, when the client decides that we want to do a SAP host-to-host payment with the bank portal. So before developing the process in the initial stages, we'll be having a meeting with the people involved in this development, like business, SAP team, functional technical, and bank team. So in this meeting, the business will jot down the points from their end, which is required to execute during the process. Like they want to keep an approval and any other thing, etc. Once the requirement is freezed, then the development will start and an end date will be fixed along with the UAT date. Once everything is done as per the schedule and after confirmation, after the UAT everything, it will be moved to production for the use. This process has two ways. A, create a Z program to generate the file. B, create a structure to generate the file. This is just an overview, which I'm showing in this PowerPoint slide so that we can understand. We'll come back to this slide again, but just for an reference part, SAP to PIPO, bank portal, this payment file, we push the file, whether it may be flight file format or XML or IDOC, encryption happens. Okay, then it goes to the bank portal. Let's move. The A part, create a Z program to generate the file. First point is that after finalizing the process, the bank will send us the format. What all fields are mandatory from their side to do the payment. So they will give us a format saying that these fields need to be required, when you're creating a file. Okay, whatever fields we have given, that should be there so that we can process the payment. This is mostly used to do the payment to the vendors. These fields will be added in the Z program with the help of SAP functional and technical person. So when we develop a Z program, so the program will be developed by the technical person. Okay, and the functional person will give him the functional specs, which we call as the FS in the SAP language. And normally the fields will be given by the SAP functional person, which all the fields are there. Okay. And the third part is, the technical person will create the program and give a T code to it. Any ZT code. Example, now if I've created one transaction code regarding to this. So normally what happens when we do this transaction, it's related to APP, F110, you can say in SAP language. So after doing this, the file will get generated normally. So example, I've given the T code name as ZAPP. Okay. So the T code, once executed, will generate a file and store it in a folder. In this method, the file will get generated. When the payment transaction is done, the file will be generated with all the information, okay, which the bank has given us the fields which we require. That fields will be there in that file, and that file will be stored in this folder once the T code has been executed. Then the end user will upload the file in the bank portal from that folder. The end user will go to the bank portal. He will browse. Now, normally how we do it. Then he'll select the file and he uploaded the bank portal. Okay. If there is an approval process at the bank portal required from business, then that approval will be made. Certain clients have that facility, business rules or scenario that they want to approve that whatever file or information is going to the bank. So they might keep a approval process at the bank level. Okay, not in the SAP, at the bank level. So over there, the approver will have the rights. He will log into the bank portal and he will approve it. So once that approval is done, the file will be received by the bank. After the file is received, the bank will do the payment to the vendor as per the file. Whatever required, whatever the information is there in the file, they will be doing it. So in this Z program, overall, if you see, normally after the discussion, after finalizing the process, everything, the bank will give us the format. As per the format, we'll create the program. So in this program, the technical person will do all the coding and everything as per the fields provided by the functional consultant. And then once the program is created and a T code is generated, the T code will be given to the user. The user will do the transaction payment and then the file will be generated and it will be stored in a folder. So once it is stored in a folder, going to the bank portal, he will be uploading it to the bank portal. And if there is any approval process, after the approval process is done, then the file will receive the bank. Okay. And the file will be processed by the bank to the, they will do the payments to the vendor, whatever information is there in the file. Now moving on to the second process. Create a structure to generate the file. Mostly in today's scenario, in nowadays, whichever company is using this host-to-host payment process, they are using the B type of process. They are creating a structure and generating a file. Some people earlier used to do the Z program. They used to generate, but nowadays they are used to using this kind of, they are generating a structure, okay, file through the structure. So to use this process, there is little bit of connection with the SAP team and the bank team, which I was showing in that PowerPoint over there. So I'll explain you this process now. To use this process, the basis team will connect SAP with bank servers, which is connected host to host by plugin like connector. So what will happen, in the SAP team, the basis consultant will get in touch with the bank portal technical team. So what they will do, they will give in like a plugin. It's like a connector, which will, connect SAP and the bank servers. So these people will do the process. They will connect it. Once this connection is done, then the basis consultant will create a folder, okay, in the server. And that folder access will be given to the bank. Yeah. They won't be able to access all the other things in the directory. They will be given only access to that particular folder. There will be two folders, output and input. This input folder depends as per the business process. Some people want this input folder, example, for reconciliation purpose, or otherwise, normally they create an output folder. So output folder is what? Output folder is when we create a transaction from APP. Okay. Then the file is generated and gets stored in the output folder. And the bank picks it up for transaction purpose. This is like a real time. Whenever the file is getting stored, it gets picked up by the bank from the server and goes to the bank. Okay. The file input folder is same when the bank has done their transaction. They are sending you a file that whatever transaction is in process, they will be sending it to the SAP folder, input folder, from where the SAP team will pick up the file and use it for the transaction in SAP. The file will be created as a flat file, XML or IDOC. This flat file, XML or IDOC will be decided by the business. They will tell us what kind of file they want for the transaction. Either they want a flat file is fine, or XML is fine, or IDOC. To create this flat or XML file, we need to create a structure in the SAP, which we call it as DME structure. Now, to generate a file, which we are talking about, for that, if you're creating a flat file or XML file, you need to create a DME structure. This DME structure can be created by the functional also, as well as technical also. It depends. Now to create the IDOC file, we need to create a structure in the SAP, same like DME, which we call it as IDOC structure. This you have seen, this can be created by the functional or the technical, it depends. This file is generated after doing the APP. As I was talking about earlier also, the F110, which transaction code is there, which mostly people are familiar. So this APP, automatic payment by F110 happens, transaction code. Then the file gets generated. And it gets stored in this output folder, SAP directory. Okay. These structures will have information of the payments to be done to the member. So basically, the file which we are creating, that structure, DME structure, whatever we are creating in the structure, that information will be transferred into that file. In simple words, if I say, the DME structure which we are creating, that details will be transferred into that file for the payment purpose. So these structures, and how there is one question that how will the bank do the payment to the vendors? They require certain information like the vendor code, bank information, amount, how many vendors, what is the number of items. Those all things are there. So for that purpose, these structure, the file which is there, these structures are developed in such a way that these structures will have information like vendor code, IFSC code, number of items, amount, etc., through which the bank does the payment. The file is initially done with the help of a tool called PIPO, which will encrypt and send the data to the bank. The file transfer is initially done with the help of a tool called PIPO, which will be encrypt and send the data to the bank. The bank will receive the file and do the payment as per the information in the file. So normally what will happen, I'll just explain you in detail. Now, let's go back to the slide, I think so. That will be better. Now we will get a good idea. Okay. So this slide, we are back here. So what will happen when you have created a structure? Let's assume we'll start talk about the DME, okay, and flat file both. Okay, they are created through the DME structure. Okay, flat file and XML. Okay, so an IDOC also will have the same process. So in the SAP, let's assume we have created a structure, DME structure. So in that structure, as per the bank provided format, like what does the bank require? ABCD bank is there, which has given us a format saying that, okay, we require these details. These details should be there to process the payment to the vendor. So what we'll do in the SAP, we'll go and configure the structure, this DME structure. This can be created by anyone, the functional or the technical. Okay. So after creating this structure, we are mentioning in this structure everything. The payment to the whatever is the number of items, how many vendors line items are there for the payment. Example 10, 20, amount 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs. Example, if there are multiple vendors or single vendors, multiple invoices for that vendor to be paid, 50,000, 10,000, everything is mentioned in that file. Even the vendor code, IFSC code, everything, whatever the bank requires for the payment as per their format, we will be creating this structure. Then only it will be possible for the bank to do the payment. Otherwise, it's not possible. So when we are creating this structure, once this structure is created, okay, then the data will come and sit in a folder, this payment file. This payment file will come in a sit in a folder, which earlier we were talking about the basis guy, who will be creating a folder. See here, the output folder. So this will come and sit in this output folder, and this file will be created as a flat XML or IDOC, whichever the business decides. Okay. So why this has happened? Because of the connection of the SAP and the portal in the starting phase, which we have done. The connector which I'm talking about here, the plugin connector, when this is done, then only the bank will be able to access that SAP server. So once this is done, when the file is pushed ahead, it will go and sit in the folder. So after that, there is a tool called PIPO. It's an SAP tool which SAP has given, okay, to pick up this file from the folder and encrypt it and send it to the bank as required by the bank server. So what will happen? This PIPO tool will send the data. It's like an intermediate. It will collect the data, it will send. The SAP cannot send directly to the bank portal. The PIPO will send the data in whatever format is required, and it will encrypt it. It will send it to the bank portal, and the bank portal will upload it to the server and check all the details are correct. And when it is correct, it will post the transaction or will do the payment to the vendor. Normally, the transaction has been posted in the SAP. There is no connection of bank after doing the payment to the vendor, then only it will possible. First, the SAP does the transaction, then only the file gets collected in this folder. Then it will be transferred to the bank portal so that they can make a payment to the vendor in real time. Okay. So if you see this encryption is there here. So basically why I mentioned encryption is that, see here I have mentioned two file. One is flight file format, second is XML IDOC format. So both the format can be created. This flat file and XML can be created through DME, and this IDOC will be created through IDOC structure. So this will initially first push the flat file, here XML. Okay. Then payment file will be generated, if either flat or XML IDOC. Then encryption will happen. Okay. This encryption, after encryption, the file will be sent again. Okay, the pushed again. Then here it will go to the bank portal. Okay, and then they will do the payment. So if you see, if you analyze, this is how the process happens in real time. Nowadays, what happens? People doesn't know, how does the bank, how does the file goes to the folder, or does it have any connection with SAP? People are they're struggling to understand how does it go. This PIPO tool is there, no one knows about it. And it connects the bank portal. So why I'm explaining is that if a person goes to work in a real-time environment after doing SAP course, or maybe he's an experienced guy who never worked on it. So if after watching this video, he might find it easier to work. He will understand, okay, there is one flat file format or XML format which is generated through DME. So I need to create a structure first. So he can give his suggestion as a SAP consultant. First, you need to create a DME structure. Then only this, the transfer can happen from SAP to the bank portal. We need to connect it first through the basis consultant. Then we need a PIPO tool so that the message can be, then a file can be encrypted and send it in the format how they require. It's like these things he will be able to understand. He will not find it difficult that two folders have to be created. All these things make it easier. Otherwise, what happens when you go and like sit there in the real time solving an issue also, if you have not, if it is already there, the process already been there, some issue comes up. Okay, see, there is one structure which has some issue, this payment file. So can you check? So you don't know, like, what is this payment file, how it was created. Okay, there is some issue. Okay, this is a structure. Through the structure it was created. Okay, now it's facing some issue. Then there might be some problem in the structure. Example, any number is not coming properly. Example, there are 10 numbers, but it is coming only 8. Why it is coming 8? So you can, if you know this, if you've seen this video, if you know there is a structure, DME structure, you can just go down to the structure and check. Oh, this is the field. Okay, I'll go there and check. Oh, it is 8 here. That is the reason it is coming 8 in the file. It should come 10. So I need to work out something and extend it to 10. Then it will come there. So this, I believe, I posted this video for a reason, so that people, what I have struggled, should not struggle. When I went initially, I was thinking, how does it work? The SAP to PIPO to bank portal, I don't know anything about it. They are saying SAP, because the user doesn't know technicalities. When they come up with the issue, they'll come up and directly tell you, boss, I've sent a file to the bank portal. It is not coming properly, or it is not gone, and there is some issue. There should be coming 8 numbers. It is coming 10. All these things they will tell you. So you won't get it because they are not telling you in a technical way, like how I explained in this video. So if someone has told me, or someone has explained me this video like this, I would have understood, oh, there is one payment file. Okay, so there might be some issue in the structure. So I can just check it out. I'll go back to the DME T code, check the structure. Okay, this is the structure. So all those things I can do with the technical person help or anything, because I know the process now, how it runs. It goes through SAP to the PIPO tool. The PIPO consultant will do the encryption and send it to the bank portal. So initially, if you see here, the SAP has two consultants. One is your functional consultant, one is the technical consultant. Technical consultant is PIPO here. And then it goes to the bank portal. There's a bank team. So I know that, whom to connect and to what to get the issue resolved. So I'm sharing this video. I hope people benefit from it. I hope you like it. Please do like and subscribe. I've tried to explain as much as I can. which will make your any consultant or any person regarding this project, life easier to understand. And I'll be posting more and more videos, whatever I think can, is not easily available, like integration part. So again, if you want, you can just thank you for the process. Thank you. Please do like and subscribe.